we talking about?
Time back in the Royal Navy, and obviously both of us were very, very fortunate in our years of service that we did actually manage to get around the country and around the globe. And so 3 top runs ashore that you might have had. There can be numerous reasons. When I was thinking about how I could answer this, I thought to myself, man, that's quite difficult because there's so many beautiful countries that I've been to and there's so many great people that I've met. And to try and distill, goodness knows how many countries I've been to around the world, into just 3 is really hard work. What are your thoughts?
Exactly the same. I struggle to put them down to 3 because it leaves out so many great places. I've decided not to do any UK because obviously that was home and we were there. But they were some of the best runs ashore. Plymouth, fun enough. Newcastle
was a brilliant run ashore.
Thun. However cold it is, the ladies still go out in skimpy gear. It's unbelievable.
Fantastic place, Newcastle, man. Eh?
And I don't know if you remember, there was a discotheque where you'd perambulate with the ladies. There was a revolving stage. And it was that great moment that I'll never forget. There was a band playing, and then suddenly I come conscious, and it was a disco. And I thought, what's happened? Have we moved? And I did not remember. And it was only many weeks later that someone said, no, it's a revolving stage.
Funny.
Well, it was funny at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not including the UK, and I'm also not including New Zealand. I mean, it really impressed me when I first came down here in 84, but I'm not going to include that. So I agree with you, it's been very difficult. And we may repeat some of them, won't we?
We might. We'll see how we go. So kick off then, Sunshine. What's one of your best runs?
Well, before I answer that, I'm actually going to do something completely different.
And now here's something completely different.
Hey, this is me. You should be used to this by now. When we talk about foreign runs, I think there's 3 things in my mind I'd like to put out there that we should always be mindful of. One is that it was an education in itself. We were young lads who joined at 16, and we'd probably never gone much further than the nearest town or city. Occasionally you get to the coast for a holiday. But you go abroad, the other side of the world, different cultures. Wow, what an education that was.
Into foreign parts?
Yes, that's right. Parts that were foreign, an eye-opener. The second point I'd like to say is that we didn't do it on our own. We went with other people. And looking back, it was great to have done it with other people, such as yourself. Because a lot of the people that we went with were slightly older than us, and in a way, they were mentors. Because I was going to places like you were, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Still young, but you're having guys with you that were much older than you, much more wiser, and that they gave you the ability to say, look, this is how you behave when you are ashore. This is how you should behave in a pub when you're having a few drinks. In other words, great gurus in a way of life. Looking back as to my favourite run ashores, they were favourite because I shared it with others who had that mentality. However drunk you were, they always got you back to the ship. And the third is the fact that their memories. 40 years later, we can remember some of these shores, these places we went to, and the experiences. Well, probably not you, Steve. You don't remember your last run ashore much in Gibraltar. I know that. They are memories, and they do stick with you for a lifetime.
One of the great beauties of doing it as we did it was we did it in the company of some great fellas who had already done it before us, so they've already been round the traps and they knew the lie of the land. But we also did it in a great era, I think, in a period of time where the world was really opening up in a way that it hadn't done for a long time, even post the Second World War. We were still on that upward opening up trajectory where there was still interesting things to explore. And as you say, foreign travel was really, really limited. I don't think I ever went abroad with my parents into foreign parts. I think as far as we got was Scotland, and that was a mission. So for kids today who fly all around the world, who travel all around the world, this is, you're kidding me. But for us, back in our day, travelling outside the bounds of your county boundary were pretty rare. Certainly in the village that I grew up, loads of people never travelled very far. And so for me to be deploying to the Middle East and then going to all of these foreign parts was really interesting to folk back in the village. It's a bit like Hobbiton. You know, don't go out of the boundaries of the Shire, Master Frodo.
That's strange, because put a hat on you and you'd look like Gandalf. I'd look like a hobbit.